fashioning a new society in the wilderness. Understand feudal inheritance. Land was owned by noblemen and monarchs. Serfs worked on the land in return for protection while paying taxes. Commodities were bartered in markets, and people were born into position and status. Social policy in medieval society. Social problems were addressed through peers and family. Social welfare was provided by the church. Society took care of the poor through use of tents. Immigration from European society went from feudal to individualistic, demographic, and capitalistic. Commerce went from bartering to paper money and coins. People began to hoard money to increase net worth. This caused inflation, depression, unemployment, and displacement. By 17th century, English political theorists helped emphasize the multi-branch government. Positive policies. In the 16th century, economic and social affairs were regulated by monarchs and local officials. In the 17th century, mercantilism envisioned the development of colonies in the New World to provide raw materials for England. Punitive policies. There was denial of civil liberties to the poor. Some theorists were so critical of people in poverty that they proposed enslaving them. Those in need were exposed to hard discipline of backbreaking work, and child labor were seen as little adults. Patterns of change in the New World. The government began to sell large amounts of land to immigrants as they established different societies. Americans became to perceive themselves not as common laborers, but as stakeholders and landholders. Personal economic fate hinged on their ability to provide and sell crops with other commodities. As servants finished up their terms of service, they often moved to small plots of land where they knew other immigrants from Europe. Population grew around 1 million people every 20 years. Linked to colonial era to contemporary society. Policy advocacy began even before the American Revolution was founded with the election of George Washington. Changes in policy advocacy started after the Americans moved toward declaring independence from England. The terms liberal and conservative were not used in the colonial period, but they came to suggest different approaches to interpreting the Constitution. Many Americans subscribed to the colonial era as racist and sexist, leading them to support policies in conflict with policies enunciated in the Declaration of Independence. The colonial experience suggests that contemporary American public policy should try to help people gain access of land and homes. All in all, the colonial federal government possessed virtually no resources and had no social welfare functions, which forced the local government and states to assume these functions.